Okay. All right. Well, we got that going. So, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, good afternoon, and welcome to this afternoon's news shorts with Panic and Rehab. So, Panic and Rehab, this is our afternoon news shorts, and I'm T. Skillet. So, welcome aboard. So, this will get you going before the afternoon. Let everybody get some news in before the tonight's news. There's a lot going on. So the judge in the Fulton County election trial for this is FBI went into Fulton County, Georgia, which is right outside Atlanta. It's Georgia's largest county, and they had some issues in the 2020 presidential election, if you remember. And remember, Trump lost Georgia by 10,000 votes. So the FBI raided the election offices, Fulton County, and they took all the ballots, something like 700 cases, 650 cases, whatever, 650 boxes of documents seized by the FBI. So, of course, Fani Willis and her, the Attorney General, office there in Atlanta, they sued the FBI, demanding that they get back the 650 cases of documents. So a filing was submitted by the county after a hearing where officials wanted the judge to have 650 boxes of documents that were seized by the FBI returned to the county offices. So it's a big court case. There was a hearing of evidence where the judge was asking both sides questions, and that was the Fulton County attorneys and, of course, Kurt Olson. So the judge made a ruling, but it's not complete. It's a partial ruling because it's tough for judges to make any kind of a ruling, just so you know. Don't ever expect a judge to make a decision, ever. So that's just my opinion. But a judge denies Fulton County request for documents from FBI elections raid. So in Fulton County, a court battle between Fulton County and the U.S. Department of Justice continuing, and a judge has put the county latest legal move on a deadline. So the county and the U.S. government have been fighting it out in federal courts in the months since the FBI raided the county election offices and seized hundreds of boxes of files from the 2020 election. A judge prior ruled that the county had to keep all the records. Usually you keep election records for 2 years after the event. Depends on state statute, but most of the time it's 2 years. So you have to have a warehouse for it. Well, this judge said, hey, look, everything has to be cut because there's going to be ongoing legal issues. And so a judge made a ruling that they had to keep all election records from 2020, even though it's 2026. So let's see, on Monday, the judge denied Fulton County's motion for additional evidence, but the matter isn't quite done, obviously, never. The judge gave Fulton County officials until April 27th to submit new evidence to support the request. The filing was submitted by the county after a hearing where officials wanted a judge to have all 650 boxes of the documents seized by the FBI returned to the county offices. The judge denied it based on how the county was trying to get the records from the FBI. The judge says Fulton County request was tantamount to having a court get the evidence for them. Fulton County is seeking a few items from the FBI operation. County officials want to know when the FBI began their investigation that led to the seizure of the materials. They also wanted to know when when Attorney Kurt Olson referred the criminal investigation at the center of the case to the FBI and begin investigating. Officials also want the FBI to provide government communication records to provide insight into the investigation and its process, including any records of meeting and communications where U.S. Department of Justice officials discuss using criminal search warrants in response to delays and an ongoing civil case over the election. So Fulton County leaders also wanted copies of communications between any criminal division of the DOJ staff involving obtaining search warrants, civil division staff involved in the lawsuit that is still working its way through the courts. In order, the judge wrote that the request escalates the evidentiary process by asking a court not to receive not to only receive evidence, but to obtain it for the county. So here it is. So Atlanta, they want the court to do all the work instead of them doing all the work. So there's Fannie Willis, and there's the famous attorney that went to the White House, got some instructions, got paid a lot of money to arrest President Trump before the 2024 election. So there are these two guys, and that's Kurt Olson. All right. So as a result, the order advises that Fulton County should attempt to have the FBI release records they were searching for first before attempting to have the courts do it. So the county will have until April 27th to submit evidence for the request to have the courts receive and provide the FBI investigative items in order for the judge to make a decision. Decision date for the next step has not been set. Hey, good luck on that. Well, there's some sad news. A lot of stuff, you've heard a lot of news about Virginia. Right now, Virginia is going through a redistricting vote that's going to be in a couple of days, where the Democratic Governor Spanberger, she's making a lot of decisions, a lot of executive orders, fast and furious, after she was elected governor as a moderate and now is governing as a full left-wing lunatic, in my opinion. This was about the former Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax and his wife, found dead in their home this morning. Let's see. Let me see if I have a picture of them. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, nope, that's not it. Yeah, nope, that's not it. Let's see. Hopefully I have a picture of them. Pretty sure. No, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Huh. Oh, there it is. All right. So this is the former Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax and his wife. Fairfax County Police Chief Ken Davis said sometime after midnight, Justin Fairfax allegedly shot his wife, Dr. Serena Fairfax, a dentist in the area. They live 14 miles southwest of Washington, D.C., and they're in Fairfax County, Virginia. So the home, it's Annandale, a little town in Fairfax County, Annandale. It's about 14 miles southwest of Washington, D.C. She's a dentist. And he was a prosecutor, and then ran for the lieutenant governor office and won. And so they were found just after midnight. Justin Fairfax allegedly shot his wife, Dr. Serena Fairfax, a dentist, in the basement of their home, then ran upstairs to the home's primary bedroom before shooting himself. It's a murder-suicide. It's really sad. The two teenage daughter and son were still in the house. They're the ones who called 911. Justin Fairfax was the 41st Lieutenant Governor of Virginia. He was 47 at the time of his death, and he's originally from Pittsburgh. Fairfax was a former federal prosecutor with the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Virginia in 2010. In 2011, he ran for Lieutenant Governor of Virginia as a member of the Democratic Party, defeating Jill Vogel by 53 to 47 margin. Fairfax served from 2018 to 2022 and was the second African-American person elected to the office of the state after Douglas Wilder. Justin Fairfax previously faced sexual assault while in office. During his time in office, Fairfax faced 2 sexual assault allegations from 2 different women. Vanessa Tyson, who worked alongside Fairfax in the 2004 Democratic National Convention, alleged that Fairfax forced her to perform some sexual acts in a Boston hotel. He denied that allegation, saying that the encounter was consensual. The second woman, Meredith Watson, also reported he sexually assaulted her while they attended Duke University. He said that he's never forced himself onto anyone, but he had nothing to hide. And this is probably all before he was married. He did sue in 2021. He sued CBS for defamation after it was aired interviews from his accusers. So probably he was trying to get a higher office and keep going in politics, and and got torpedoed. Who knows? But unhappy. He was going through a nasty divorce with his wife at the time, and this has been an ongoing domestic dispute surrounding what seems to be a complicated or a messy divorce. Um, and now both are no longer. That's a shame. Um, let's see. Well, there's Thune. Yeah, disturbing allegations against unnamed senator under review in wake of scandals rocking Congress. Senate Majority Leader John Thune confirmed his office has received information this morning about accusations from about a senator for misconduct. Allegations of misconduct against an unnamed senator were sent to the Senate's Ethics Committee today. Unbelievable. President Trump announces a 10-day ceasefire. President Trump announces a 10-day ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon, and both countries will try to achieve a long-lasting peace. Here's an idea. How about Lebanon quit shooting missiles into Israel? That might help. So Marco Rubio is hosting the peace talks between Israel and Lebanon, and President Trump has invited both parties to the White House in an attempt to try to establish a generational peace between the two countries. Lebanon is located just north of Israel and just west of Syria. All right, let's see. Governor Gavin Newsom doesn't appear to be a fan of any of the Democrats running for governor in California. He has repeatedly not endorsed anyone. Now, the latest polls, San Diego County Tribune, has Steve Hilton with 20% of the ballots. Now, you remember Steve Hilton? He was a political advisor for the Prime Minister of the UK. Came over to the United States. He immigrated to the United States, became a U.S. citizen, and was a commentator on Fox News. Steve Hilton was the guy on Fox News that never wore a tie. He wore a T-shirt, just plain colored T-shirt underneath a sports jacket, and that was him. He was, and he lives out in California. He's running for governor. Well, he's very well spoken. He's very educated, very smart, and he's leading the race out there. Now, who was right behind him was Eric Swalwell. Well, no more Eric Swalwell. So the next runner behind him at 14% of this poll is Tom Steyer, who's a multi-billionaire and left-wing wingnut philanthropist, and he wants to run California. Behind him is Xavier Becerra. He was the Secretary of Health and Services. You remember that guy? He worked for Biden. He has 9%. And Chaz Blanco, who's the sheriff, he's the one exposing a lot of weird election stuff in California, and he seems to be a rising star. So Steve Hilton, Republican. Chad Blanco, 8% Republican. Now here's the story. This is the New York City Mayor Danny says the city-run supermarket that he has envisioned will cost $30 million. $30 million, and it's going to be built on city property that they own already, and it'll be ready in 3 years. So, what do we know about Democrats, especially communist Democrats? Because this guy is a proclaimed socialist. Well, we know that they can never build anything. They promise a lot of stuff, but they can't build anything. So we kind of know that. But don't worry, they're all waiting for that supermarket to open in 3 years. They're ready to go. As you can see, that they're all lining up to get some free government food. So the bread line's already started. So there you go. Lawyer John Eastman. This was a person who was a Trump supporter, and after the 2020 election, went around and looked at the different elections, Georgia, California, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and lawyer John Eastman has had his law license suspended by California for giving a speech. He's a Trump advisor during the 2020 election, and they went after him. So they went after anybody. In fact, I think they took Giuliani's law license also for defending Trump in the election of the 2020. So his 10-week trial was preceded by a pretty lefty judge, and has the entire legal community reeling by her decision. Eastman will be forced to take his case before the Supreme Court. So this is why a lot of Republicans and a lot of elections, when they do cite issues and try to hire an attorney to defend and look at an election, nobody will take the case, because case in point, you get your law license revoked. Here's some breaking news. Breaking news: House Democrats just filed 6 articles of impeachment against Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. They accuse him of abuse of power, bypassing Congress on the Iran strikes, and reckless military decisions that endangered troops. Articles of impeachment were filed by Arizona Rep. Asasamin Hassari. So Lakalikum there, Asari. So Pete Hegseth. Let's see. That's Kurt Olson. You know Pete Hegseth. He was in the military. Has served. He was a Fox commentator. I think he was on the Saturday show. But Pete's been doing a great job. The White House response about the articles of impeachment, saying that the Democrats are totally unserious, using political theater, and appear desperate for anything to change the bad news surrounding their members. President Trump says Pete Hegseth is doing a great job and points to the success of Operation Epic Fury. You know, Pete, maybe people don't know Pete, but he is a really gung-ho, military-minded person. He's very good at articulating what the president wants and where the military needs to be. But he's also a family man. This is Pete Hegseth and his wife, and they have 7 kids. 7 kids. So I know Pete wants a better world for his kids, but the Democrats, they're trying to do anything they can. They're desperate at this point just to change the news narrative and get it away from Eric Swalwell and everything else that's going on. So there you go. Well, that's the anyway. That's the afternoon news updates. I'm T. Skillett. Please join us tonight at 8 o'clock with the Killer Carl radio podcast. It's always fun with Carl. Also, don't forget that we have a show, Panic and Rehab, in the mornings at 8 a.m. to 9, where we kind of make fun of the news. Whatever it comes up, we put whose famous birthdays are today or that day, and whatever the celebration is. Like today, it was bananas. Well, it was orchid. It was the day of orchids, right? That was today. Yesterday was bananas. And laundry day. Like, yeah, laundry day. Most people, laundry day Saturday morning. So, but anyway, it was laundry day yesterday. A national holiday for laundry, I guess. Who knows? All right. Panic and Rehab is 8 to 9. We do an afternoon news update throughout the afternoon. We have Killer Carl Radio. Don't forget that Killer Carl is live on the radio at 8 o'clock every Saturday morning on the John Fredericks Radio Network. So have a great day, and don't take news too seriously. We'll give you the updates, and